Hey guys, welcome back to the Athlete Zone podcast. My name is Julia and I am the brand manager at Athlete Zone. Today we have a special guest joining us from the University of Illinois, representing the gymnastics team. She's already made a name for herself on and off the temple track. I don't even know what you would say. Anyways, we're going to dive deep into her journey, her brand, and the impact that she is making beyond the game. So today our guest is Olivia Coppola, and she is a standout gymnast at the University of Illinois. Before stepping into the spotlight at the collegiate level, she had an impressive high school career, and now she's building something even bigger, her very own personal brand. So we're going to talk about her journey from the early days in high school to becoming a D1 athlete and how she's using her platform to build a brand. So first of all, Olivia, welcome to the show. How is life treating you at the University of Illinois?
Hi, thank you so much for having me. Illinois is something that has turned into my second family, my second home, and I absolutely love it here and can't wait for my next 2 years here.
Oh, that's so awesome. So are you on year 1 or year 2 right now?
I'm about to go into my junior year, so
Junior year.
upperclassman.
Okay, cool. She's ready to rule the school. So can you tell us a little bit about where you grew up and how you got into gymnastics? I know it's a sport that you kind of have to start like the second you start walking for most people.
Yeah, of course. So I grew up in Kentucky and my parents put me in gymnastics really young. I was apparently a crazy child, tripping over everything I possibly could. And they put me in just like this local gym, and then they kind of, I guess the coaches were kind of like, oh, like this kid has potential. And so they moved me to a gym in Ohio, an hour away from my house. And it quickly became just like my sport. And I ended up being homeschooled right out of elementary school for the rest of my high school and middle school career. And I drove an hour away to this gym in Ohio. And that was my life. I spent at least 5 hours a day in the gym, and it just became my passion and my goal, and I just want to do it for as long as I can.
Wow, gymnastics is such an intense sport. I feel like it doesn't get the like acknowledgement that it deserves, but I love that like every gymnast that I know, the story is always I was a wild child flipping off the walls and their parents are like trying to tame them and get their energy out, and then it turns into this like really like intricate, clean, like it's not wild, it's very like I mean, it's wild because you're literally flipping everywhere, but like it's so elegant is the word that I'm looking for. I love that. That's
Yeah.
so fun. So you said you were really young. Did you say how old you were?
No, I think they put me in when I was about 3 years old.
That's crazy. Yeah, see, it's just one of those sports that it's such a lifelong commitment. That's what I mean. It deserves
It
so
is.
much more acknowledgement because it becomes your childhood pretty much.
Yep.
And
Exactly.
driving an hour away is crazy, by the way. That's
Yeah, that was a time commitment for sure, but I guess if you love something, you're willing to do anything to make it work.
That's that's totally fair. So doing gymnastics, was there a specific moment once you, I mean, usually we talk about high school with sports, but again, that's one that you don't really do it with your school.
Yeah.
But at that age, kind of high school, middle school age, was there a moment that you realized that you would have a future in a collegiate level? Or when you, I guess just when you decided you wanted to make it into a college career?
Yeah, for sure. I think when I decided that I did not want to go to high school and I wanted to continue online school so that I was able to pursue gymnastics, like once you get up to that level, you really do have to make sacrifices. And it's like, are you good enough to make it to the next level? And then is it worth it? And I think for me, like, I had a bunch of people telling me, like, I have potential. And so I decided at that moment, like, I wasn't going to go to high school and hang out with all my friends and do all of the like normal high school activities. And I was going to make this my full time commitment because I had potential to do something more than just club gymnastics. And I think if I didn't make those sacrifices or even have people telling me that I could go this far, I don't know if I would have stuck with it, but I'm really glad that I did. But it definitely is a time commitment, and like you have to sacrifice a lot of other things if you want to get to this level.
Wow, so you really sacrificed, I mean, everything, like childhood. You have specific rules doing gymnastics too, right? You can't like go roller skating or go skiing
Yep.
and stuff because if you hurt yourself,
Yep.
you're done. Okay.
Exactly. Like no ice skate at Christmas time, like none of that.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, are you planning on I mean, there is no really pro gymnastics other than Olympics, right? So,
Yeah, and the Olympic path is definitely something that like they put you on when you're like 13 years old and like you've got to make that decision as well kind of going into high school and I just kind of wanted to stick with the college dream and live out my college dream since I was a little girl and not take the Olympic path because gymnastics is already a sacrifice enough and it's double the sacrifice if you want to go that route.
yeah, I know a couple of people who did that and they were also homeschooled and they were flying to
Yeah.
different countries all the time and it was a lot. Like I mean, yeah, you've already sacrificed so much. It's that's really you're really pushing it there.
Yeah.
So I guess that brings me to my next moment. What were some of your proudest moments before college in your gymnastics career?
That had to be so level 10 is the highest you can go in gymnastics. And I think that during my time, I was a level 10 gymnast for 5 years, and I definitely had some of my proudest moments there. I got to go to nationals every year that I was a level 10, and I ended
Wow.
up placing in top three in a lot of events when I was in level 10. And Region 5 is the region that I'm in, and they do this thing called an all-star trip, and they take your scores from three competitions in a row. And if you are like the highest score out of like 8 girls, you get to go on this like all-inclusive paid trip. And I ended up making it my junior year of high school. And so we got to go on a trip to Puerto Rico. And that was a dream of mine since I was a level 10. So that has to be one of my proudest moments.
That's so fun. I love that. Like you get to reward yourself with a trip. Okay.
Yeah.
I'd work pretty hard too.
Shout out
Right.
to Region 5 for doing that because I don't think any other region does that.
Oh, really? Okay, that's so
Yeah.
cool. So, you said you wanted to live out your collegiate dream. Was Illinois your dream school, or did you just want to do college, period?
Yeah, I don't think I had a school in mind. I kind of just wanted to like do all of the like recruiting process and go visit everywhere and then kind of decide where I felt like home.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And you found your home. It sounds like you really like it where you're at. Okay,
Yeah, I love it
cool.
here.
So what were some challenges that you faced during your high school years, and the ones that kind of made you shape yourself as an athlete?
Yeah, for sure. Gymnastics definitely teaches you a lot of life lessons just because being in that sport, like you learn how to have time management, like you grow up way faster than all of the other kids your age because you have to do so much more. Like you have to meal prep if you want to eat, you have to go to bed on time, you have to pick out your outfits and like you have to do your own laundry. You sometimes have to get around yourself like where other kids your age don't necessarily have to do those things. And then it's all about the sacrifice. Like you get invited to go to a sleepover and you have to say no because you have practice the next morning, Saturday morning. It teaches you things like how to problem solve. And like, I think all of these things have set me up to be in college and be able to like be a student athlete because it's so much more than you think it is. And it sounds all fun. And there are so many great things about it. But without the lessons that gymnastics taught me, like, I don't think I'd be able to handle it.
Yeah, that honestly makes sense. I've heard from people who kind of took more of the Olympic route that
Mhm.
they kind of found college to be a little, I don't want to say easier. I think it was more challenging mentally, but
Yeah.
physically a little bit easier. Do you feel that way too, since you were level 10 for 5 years?
Yeah, I absolutely do because once you get here, it's more about like maintaining your body to be able to compete 13 weekends in a row. So you're not necessarily upgrading to all these hard skills, but in club gymnastics, you compete about 7 competitions if you make it to nationals. But college, you compete every single weekend for at least 13 weekends in a row. So I think that's just the biggest change and not being able to go into practice for 5, 6 hours a day because your body wouldn't make it at this point. So we have to be very smart and careful with how we train.
Yeah, I think that's something that people don't realize about gymnastics too is how hard it is on your body. Like it's already such a demanding sport. You started at such a young age, but it is really hard on your body. Like if you're doing it your whole life, you could be in a wheelchair by the time you're like 35.
Yeah,
And like you're just
exactly.
smacking that spine, like compressing it. Like all gymnasts are kind of short.
Yeah.
But like people, I don't think they realize how hard of a sport it is. So that brings me to your college career. So high school is a big part, but we want to know more about being a D1 athlete and some of the challenges you've faced. Everything is so much more publicized too once you're in college. Like
Yes.
I'll be eating in the what are they called? The dining halls, and I look up and the TV screen there's college gymnastics is playing, and it's crazy. So, have you had any like humbling moments at gymnastics meets?
Yeah, for sure. I think coming in as a freshman, like you don't really know what to expect, but in club, it was all about yourself and what you could place all on your own. But in college, it's all about a team. You can have 20 to 23 girls on a team, but only 6 girls go up on each of the events. So you have to have like all of your trust into those girls to end up with an amazing team score. So I think like as a freshman, that's super huge to learn. And it's definitely a little bit scary going up your first time and being like, I'm not doing this for me anymore. Like, I'm doing this for all of the girls sitting there watching me. And so that's just I think, mental strength that you have to learn when you get here. And it's definitely a humbling moment when you go up and then you do mess up because we're all human and it does happen. But then you just realize that you have a whole team behind you that is there for you.
Yeah, it really is sisterhood, I feel like. And
Hmm.
man, gymnastics, again, people don't get how hard it is. And then when you fall, the whole crowd just lets out a huge, like, ooh, like
Yeah.
it's definitely, I feel
Especially when
like,
you fall hard too.
yeah, like
Because like, sometimes we'll just like fall and we're like, oh, we're fine. But to the common eye, it's like, oh my gosh.
you like neck squash and kick yourself in the head and you're like,
Yeah.
I've done this 3 times this week. It's fine. And everybody's like, call an ambulance. Like, so how has your training and preparation changed from high school to college?
I think just growing up, I was always like, I need to do 10 of this to be prepared. And I was all about like the numbers aspect. And I've had to learn, and I'm still learning, even going into my junior year, that like visualizing and like using your mind and doing drills that aren't as hard on your body is just as powerful. And like learning when to say, okay, I can't do this today because I need to rest. And that has been something that has been so hard for me to learn. And it really does make the biggest difference, though, when you do learn that, because it's not all about pounding your body until you feel like you're at your breaking point to feel prepared. It's about being smart with your turns and your reps and listening to your coaches and taking advice from your teammates and your trainers. So that has been one of the biggest lessons that college has taught me, college gymnastics in particular.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, especially because as you're getting older, I totally forgot what I was saying earlier, but now I remember. It was about like you were talking about, I think like maintaining your body. Like that's so
Hmm.
hard to do. Like when you're a young kid, you bounce back so easily, but college
Yeah,
when you fall down, it hurts a little bit more and the
it
pain
does.
lingers a little longer. So yeah, it definitely paying attention to your body is such a huge thing. I had a friend who tore her Achilles, and it was because over time things were happening and she didn't realize. And but if you take care of yourself and you pay attention to those things, you can avoid that. But those are the
Yeah,
injuries that you can get from gymnastics are not that you can't get them from other sports, but they're so
right.
like debilitating for like their career
Yes.
ending a lot of the time too.
Yep.
So what role, you said you love your school, what role has your coaching staff played in your growth?
I think just this coaching staff in particular has been so supportive with who we are outside of gymnastics. They focus on who we are as a student, who we are as a person, and that ultimately makes us going into the gym and practicing and competing better. They focus on our team connection. So I think all of the like focusing on different things has played such a huge role into our physical skills in gymnastics that I don't think a lot of other programs realize the impact that looking outside of the sport can have.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm curious about this one because I feel like not a lot of schools have gymnastics teams. To me, I view gymnastics as like really classy. I feel like they like kind of raise you that way to like be like not only just good at your sport, but like be well mannered and respectable. Um,
Yes.
what is one misconception that people have about being a college athlete, but specific to gymnastics?
Ooh.
There might
Um,
not be one, but if you can think of
yeah,
one.
I don't really know. I think maybe like I think coming from club, everybody assumes that like you're just a gymnast. That's you what you do your entire day, your entire life. And when you get to college, that changes. We have at least our team, we have so many other hobbies and things that we like to do together that some people who don't know us might not even know that we're a gymnast, which I think is something that's really cool because my entire high school career, I was like, nope, I'm the gymnast. Like, that's how people know me. And it's really cool that people don't just know me as the gymnast here at Illinois.
Yeah. I'll also say I think a lot of people, at least for gymnastics, I think it's all sports, but gymnastics, I think people view you guys as lucky that, especially if you're getting paid, they're like, oh, like they're so lucky, like they don't have to work, like they just get to do flips and get paid. But you sacrificed your entire childhood. You've worked at this
Yeah.
since basically day one. Like, do you even remember your first day of gymnastics? Like, you probably weren't fully
I
conscious.
Yeah, I have
It's
no
not
memory of
luck.
those times.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
there's no luck. It is genuine hard work and dedication for your entire life. Like you said, you didn't get to go ice skating, didn't get to go play around with your friends whenever there was a sleepover. If you had practice, like it's a brutal sport. It takes a
It
lot to be
is.
good at too.
And just knowing how many girls don't get this opportunity. Like,
Yeah,
because there
like
are so many gymnasts out there that do sacrifice this and then they don't get to go on to their collegiate dream.
yeah, and even the ones that do, like you said, only 6 girls get to compete for each event. So, you might achieve the dream, but then you have to sit and watch from the sidelines the whole time, which
Like,
still great opportunity, but everybody
yeah.
wants that's what they want. They want to be there,
Yeah.
be on the mat. So as you've grown into an athlete, you've started building something bigger, your personal brand. So I want to dive into what your brand represents and how it represents you. So how do you think building your brand has helped you both on and off the mat?
So I think just when I started creating like my brand and like thinking, what do I want people to wear on their chest when they're wearing my gear? It's that everybody goes through struggles in life, whether it's through gymnastics, through a different sport, through school, and like everybody has their own journey. And I want everybody to recognize that they have their own struggles and they have a voice, whether it's sports or not. And I think just now that I'm older, when I see little girls come to our competition and they're wearing my gear, like I just feel like I'm doing it for something bigger. Like I'm doing it for those little girls because that used to be me going to college gymnastics competitions and wishing that I could be out there with them. So it's just for something so much bigger and not just for myself, which keeps me motivated to keep working hard in the gym and keep doing it for them.
Yeah, I love that. I feel like there is such a huge fan base of little girls. I know I've like babysat little girls who they don't know any specific gymnasts, but like if they even got to meet one, they'd just be so excited. Like there are a lot of
Yeah.
people looking up to you. I think that's part of the reason that they teach you guys so much class too, is because you are what
Mhm.
the newer generation looks up to and wants to become. So
Yeah.
speaking of that, was there a gymnast that you looked up to as a young girl that made you kind of want to be where you are now?
Yeah, so at my club gym, when I started getting a little bit older, we did have elites trying to go to the Olympics. And there's this one gymnast named Amelia Hunley. She is now a coach at Alabama. And so she was always older than me, but her just work ethic and love for the sport was always something that I tried to look up to. And I was always in the gym, like trying to be her. So, like, I was that little girl, sitting in the stands, watching her and wanting to be her someday. So, I will always look up to Amelia Hunley.
And that's what you're doing. I mean, now with your own brand, that's who you're
Yeah.
becoming. There's whether there's 1 or 10, there's little girls out there that are looking at it and wanting to be great because of it. Um, So moving on, I want to talk about the other aspects of your brand. It doesn't just represent you, it represents where you come from, your support system, and how you've gotten to where you are. So what does fan support mean to you as an athlete?
I think it just means that I have people out there rooting for my success and I think it goes back to the little girls again. Like they watch me succeed and then it motivates them to work hard in whatever they're doing. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
even have to be gymnastics, but I think just going out and knowing that these fans are watching my hard work pay off, I think it just shows them a great example of how hard work does pay off in the long run.
Yeah, and then I guess in a sense it makes you want to work hard because you want to give them something good to look up to. Um,
Exactly.
have you had any interactions with fans that like stick around in your head? Like any run-ins with someone that just were so meaningful to you?
I have. I actually coach club gymnastics now,
Oh,
and so all
cool.
of those little girls, they got my merch, and they came to like almost all of our home competitions, and just seeing them like wearing that and bringing signs for me and like asking me to sign
Oh,
it, like it just shows me that I really do have people watching me. And you're right, it motivates me to work harder in the gym and do it for them. It's not just for me anymore. It doesn't matter what I'm feeling in that moment. I just have to think back to those little girls like making me those signs, and then they showed up at one meet and they made me bracelets that had my name on them, and it was just like wow, like people are watching me.
like they're watching and they're invested. Like they took time out of their day. They could have been playing on the swings, but they were like, no, let's sit down and let's make bracelets for Olivia. Like
Yeah.
that is so sweet. I
Thank
love
you.
that. Oh,
Yeah,
I'd love to be that for somebody too, have someone look up to
exactly.
you so much. Um, so what is one thing you wish more people understood about supporting athletes?
I think that knowing that we have support drives us. Like when people show up to our competitions, it makes us feel so good inside that we get to show all of the hard work that we've been doing behind the scenes because nobody gets to see that part of it. So then when people get to show up and we get to show them everything that we've been doing and all of the struggles, they make it worth it. The fans are there supporting, and we just feel like we're doing it for them.
Yeah, honestly, that's awesome. I love hearing about gymnastics specifically because I feel like it's just such a niche sport and you have such a niche fan base like of these little girls.
Yeah.
I don't feel like any other sport has that same experience. But this has been an incredible conversation. I've really enjoyed speaking with you. But before we wrap up, where can people go to support you and your brand? Is there a social media platform you like to use?
Yeah, so I pretty much post anything that you'll need to know about me on my Instagram. I'm pretty easy to find. Just look up my name and I'll pop up there with my Illinois picture on there. So I'll keep updates on there for sure.
Awesome. And then you can also shop on the website at athletezone.com. So, Olivia, thank you so much for joining us today. And to our listeners, don't forget to check out her merch. Go purchase it, athletezone.com. Go to Illinois and click on Olivia, and you will directly be supporting her brand, and her journey. All right. And thank you, everybody, for watching today. My name is Juliet, and I am the brand manager at Athlete Zone. Hopefully you enjoyed watching.